the one-time Keith Thurman. Some of the super chats here. Keith, why don't you challenge Boots at 154 pounds? I think they just tuned in. You was excited talking about that fight actually a little bit earlier. Tell me, is that one of those names that you feel like you can get right away? I think you did say if he clears something out. No, no, I think that
No,
was
he's
Norman.
see, so he no, he's moving up, right? He's moving up. He don't
Right.
got the belt. I don't got no belt. What would me and Boots
No
even be
fight right
fighting
now.
for?
Ready?
What would we be fighting for right now? Right? If he's
Yeah,
just
we need a
moving up,
title
like, what
regard.
are we fighting for right now, right? Make something up like, oh, them boys are gonna fight for the title eliminator of Crawford's belt, you know. But how can we do that? Because there's probably already some number one contender, and his name ain't Boots Ennis, and his name ain't Keith Thurman, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
the hardest. Another curveball in boxing is timing. I'm not talking about the timing of setting up your shots timing, okay? Get out the ring for a second, okay? We're not talking about in the ring timing. We're talking about out of the ring timing. We talk about celestial universal timing, where calendars match up, where things happen that we can make this happen because it's the right time, you know? And I don't know how butthurt certain 400 people are feeling right now about my comments and stuff, but most people don't know ish about boxing, you know, and sports. Unfortunately for me, I would have ran the fight against Boots already. I got the phone call once in my career. See, people don't understand how boxing really works. I get a phone call and we make decisions, right? We make legitimate decisions when it's about to get written in the paper, or for better lack of terms, written in stone. Okay, when it's really written down, all right, in stone, locked in. Bam.
Mm-hmm.
They said they brought up Boots Ennis once in my career, but at that time, I said, you know what? For the first time in my career, I said, man, look, just give me one fight and then give me that fight. I said, give me Ugas. I said, give me Stanley Onis, right? And I thought I was gonna get the Ugas fight, but then they threw it to Mario Barrios, which I don't know why. I just beat that boy, you know. I just beat that boy, you know. So they threw it to Mario Barrios, and I didn't get Ugas. I didn't get Stanley Onis. And then before I could get Boots Ennis, he jumped ship from PBC, right? So if I would have known, if I would have known that it would have been impossible to make the other two fights, all you got to do is tell Keith Thurman, like, yo, we really got this ready for you. Like, we got this, like, we got the oven preheating. You know what I'm saying? We got this cooking up. I mean, I can practically smell it, Keith. I mean, it's almost on the table. It's practically on the table. You want it or you don't, you know? Oh man, I am a little hungry right now, man. Let me. What you got? What you say again? Boots? The what? Extra sauce? Oh, all right. Let me take it. Let me take it. You know what I mean? But for lack of better terms, the way some business has happened in boxing for me, the way the lack of some transparency has happened for me. You see me, I'm a very transparent person. I keep it 100, right? Like, of course, might not tell you certain details at certain times, but one certain like it doesn't really matter no more. I got no problem telling people what it is or what happened. Right. I'm transparent like that. Right. So if the game was as transparent with me as I'm transparent with you, then we can make great fights happen snippety snappity. But they be acting, you know, and then I thought maybe I could get something done, and then nothing ended up getting done. We postponed it so long on the Stanley Onis fight that by the time I was about to get the fight, they offered me Tim Zoo, and Stanley Onis doesn't have the family name of Tim Zoo. And Stanley Onis was just like an interim champion. He wasn't a world champion like Tim Zoo. And so I dropped off the thought of about to sign the contract for Stanley Onis, which I know that had to bother him because as much as I was waiting around, he was waiting around. So I'm gonna take this time. I apologize, Stanley Onis. I apologize for that section of both of our careers. They should have just made us fight. If they wanted us to fight, they could have just made us fight faster. It didn't manifest like that. So then I dropped him off. So now he's waiting even longer, right? And I try to run the Zoo fight, and I get the bicep tendon injury. I'm out of the game for another year, and that's that, man. So it's a series of unfortunate events, but today's a new day. I'm good. I woke up.
That-
I'm feeling strong. I'm ready to go, man.
HLD, thank you for the two piece. Xander versus Thurman for the WBO December 2026. What do you think about Xander Zayas being that big name for Top Rank at 154 pounds? Puerto Rico seems like they have, really backing him up as being one of them, a future Puerto Rican champion. What do you think about Xander Zayas and kind of entertaining him into some of the big league names like yourself?
I haven't laid my eyes on this top rank fighter. I haven't seen too much of top rank events this year. There's I've seen more of what's been on the zone end and the PBC ends. So I actually don't know the kid. Say, how do you spell his name?
Xander is with an X, Xander.
Oh, okay,
Zayas,
okay.
Zayas.
And he's at the top of the WBO right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, is he the number one contender? Is he the one?
I
Is he the
believe so. Yeah,
mandatory?
he was trying
Is he the
for
mandatory for
Fondura,
Crawford? For Crawford,
for for
doesn't
Crawford.
Crawford have the WBO? Doesn't Crawford have
Yes.
the WBO?
Yeah.
And that's why I don't know. Because another thing, my whole career has been a lot with WBA, and then sometime with the WBC. So I'm always gunning after the WBA. I've never held the WBO, you know, and but I, but after my last fight, I did see myself in 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 two rankings. So I think I might be somewhere in the WBO. So yeah, if he's the number one guy, you know, I'd have to look into it if his name popped up. I got a few more like opponent names that popped up already. They weren't that interesting, and they weren't nobody at the tippity top like that. So I haven't heard his name yet, and I'm unfamiliar with his accolades at this time. But as I'm gonna have to find my way to get a big fight, I'm gonna have to consider this man. And I love a great Puerto Rican